Four things that are keeping me in the Adobe ecosystem that EVOTO AI needs to either add or improve on. First of all, I'm going to go over some of the things that are game changers that keep me using EVOTO. Now, EVOTO hasn't paid me for this. I'm doing this on my own, okay? So these are the game changers. The game changer that got me hooked was the one-click portrait edit. And let me show you what I mean. Now, there's other products that do this, but they've added some other things on here that I think are just truly game changers, okay? I can click on, for example, Natural One. And if you look at this, let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, you can, that's showing the preset, and I've clicked on the space bar, and that's before. It's very subtle. I hope you can see it. I'm going to make this larger. So there's before and there's after. So it's just very subtle. It's very slightly just kind of smoothing some things out. It's doing some things like, let me come up here to the top. It's taking out any freckles or acne. She doesn't really have any freckles. Usually I would leave freckles in, but I can, if I want to add body blemishes, that's not really in this preset, I can do that. It's going to take out any body blemishes. You can see that it kind of smooths the skin a little bit. I mean, the portrait was really good to begin with, right? She doesn't have a lot of issues with her skin, but they have this dodge and burn, some of these features. So these features are turned on depending on which preset you use. So maybe I reset this and I use like a high-end preset, and that's going to be, you see it's a little more evident, right? I'll come in here and zoom in a little bit. There's without it and there's with it. So the high end is a really good preset that I like to use. So one click portrait edit, I'm done. If she had a lot of bumps and acne, one click, it would take it out, right? Really nice. Body blemishes as well. The other thing is the one click background cleanup. So let me make this a little smaller. This background doesn't really need to be cleaned up too much, but let's go over to, say, another shot over here. And you can see on this backdrop, it's a paper backdrop, and I would like it to be a little cleaner looking, right? So I can come over here to this backdrop adjustment section, right? And I can choose clean backdrop, and I can watch the backdrop here, click on that, and it just smooths it out. Look at that. I'm going to turn it off. There's without it, and there's with it. It really just smooths things out. I like it a lot. Okay, so that is a game changer for me. Let me try another shot over here, maybe where the background, we'll just go back to one of these. This background, it's not bad at all. I mean, I could keep it the way it is, but clean backdrop, and it just smoothed it out and made it perfect. Look at that. It looks like a wall or something. I'm going to turn it off. There's without it. And there's with it. Game changer for me when I have backdrops that are just not cool. The other thing is if you have dirt on the floor and things like that, you're using a backdrop that has a dirty floor. Here's one. Let's zoom in here. You can see the floor there. I can choose clean backdrop. This was a game changer. You could call this maybe a fourth thing. I've cleaned the backdrop, and look at that. It cleaned up the floor. Let me turn it off. See all that where we were walking on the floor? There's with it. There's without it. That is a game changer, especially if you're using white paper. No more going in to Lightroom or Photoshop and cleaning up all the stuff on the floor or anything on the background. Game changer. Got me hooked on this product, right? Just love those features, right? So there's without it, there's with it. So the background processes, the one-click background processes. Now they've added the distraction removal, and let me find a shot. This has some distractions. I thought I had another one. Maybe let's look over here. Here's one. Didn't quite fit her on the background. You can see this is a tennis ball that I have on one of the poles that are sticking out from the umbrellas that I have. So that caught in the shot. Sure, could I crop in a little bit? I can, but I can come over here to this distractions removal option, click on that, and it didn't do it automatically here, but sometimes you got to help it and you tell it, yeah, I want to remove distractions. Look at that. Took it out. Here's without it. Took the tennis ball out and filled in the sides. Game changer. I would have had to previously go into Photoshop and do a lot of work to get that out. using either Gen AI or content aware fill, going in there and doing that. Here's another one. Yes, I could crop in, but look, her toe is almost at the end there. There's no room to really crop here. Maybe at the top, but then I don't get the crop that I want. I just click the button, one click, fixed it. I'm done, right? So cool. All right. So those are the game changers for me, where I had the one-click portrait edit. Whatever preset you want to use, you can go and adjust them. And then you've got the background cleanup, just the background or even the floor. That's the other ones. And then the distraction removal, where it cleans up the background and removes, especially on the sides. You guys that do this a lot have spent a lot of time in Photoshop filling in the sides of the backgrounds where you didn't fit your subject onto the paper, have spent hours and hours and hours. Now you can do it in one click, right? I sound like an ad for EVOTO, but I've been using it for a while, and those have been game changers for me. Now, what is keeping me from leaving Photoshop and Lightroom completely, right? Here's an example with Divya. I want to crop 4:5, and if I do that, you see it cuts her off. But what I can do is grab these bars and expand them just like that, right? And then bring this bar down here, and you see I have this space on the sides and the top, and I can tell it content aware fill up here, and it will allow me to expand the canvas and fill it in for me. And a lot to ask for, I know, but generative AI is another kind of a game changer that does really good in Photoshop. So it's not perfect, but it does what I need. I can't do that in EVOTO, so that's something that's missing. If I wanted to expand this canvas, I can't. I can't go beyond the borders. Maybe I'm missing something, and maybe, comment below if you can do it, and I don't see it, because it's not obvious to me if it's here. So that feature is not available. So the AI crop, the content aware canvas expand crop is not available in EVOTO, and I use that a lot, unfortunately, in Photoshop. So the other thing that keeps me in Lightroom actually is if you go over here and you do the basic adjustments panel, the real-time adjustment as I'm moving the slider. I'll call it reactive slider. So if I push this highlight over, this is something actually, it was working before and now it's not working. You see I'm moving that slider and it's not giving me a real-time adjustment as I'm moving the slider. That drives me crazy. I need to be able to see what I'm doing as I'm doing, and I have to let go, and then it thinks about it and it gives me, obviously the highlights are too high there, but I'll bring it down. See, as I'm moving it, I can't see what I'm doing as I'm moving the slider. I need that. So that's another feature that I've had it occasionally. It will work, but most of the time I can't get it to work. So if I bring the blacks down, nothing's happening until I let go of the slider, and then it thinks about it and makes the adjustment. I need those real-time adjustments as I'm moving the slider. Until you give me that, I'm stuck in Lightroom or Camera Raw. Okay. So that's the second thing that keeps me in the Adobe ecosystem. Third thing is, if you go to the home here, you've got all of these projects that I've done, right? Is there a way, I want to see a list. I don't want this large icon, and maybe right click, is there a way, guys? Comment below. I don't see a way to make this a list. So for example, in say Lightroom, I'll come over here on the left side over here, I can see my drives, right? And if I expand the drive, I can see I have a Lightroom folder, and then I have my project name under each Lightroom folder, and like Lightroom 2025. So I have them, I can arrange them by year and then the name of the project, right? And it's in a list. I would really, it's not a game changer, I wouldn't say, but I would really like to have that feature. And it's hard for me. I need a way to organize this homepage. And if it's there and maybe I don't see it, I can sort of sending and descending, and looks like that's it. So maybe there's a view option. I don't see it. There's like zoom in, zoom out, but doesn't apply to this page. So maybe let me know how I would do that. But until then, I'm stuck with Adobe because I really like that feature. Now that one, maybe I could let slide a little bit, right? Love this shot with Divya. I'll make a video of how we did this. So the last thing is the subscription model. You buy credits. So for every photo, you have to have a credit that you buy. And if you look under my account, it'll tell me how many credits I have to buy. I'm not crazy about that model. Give you an example. Photoshop, I think I pay $20 a month and I get Lightroom and Photoshop in Adobe, I mean. And so that translates to $240 a year. I can do as many photos as I want, as many projects, as many photos. If I want to do 40,000 photos, it's $20 a month and I'm good, right? With EVOTO, I've got to go out to, let's go to browser here, and you've got to buy a plan and you only get a certain amount of credits. Like right now, I spent $149 and I get 1,600 credits. That's 1,600 shots that I can edit in EVOTO for $149. $200, it's going to cost me for 9,463. For $200, if I can get it to stop, there it is, I can get 3,600 credits. That's extremely limiting, and that's with 35% off, I think. On the plans, you can do a top-up pack, so if I want to buy some manually, I can, but that sort of gets, I can get another 1,200 credits for $78, and it sort of gets expensive, so it costs more. It really does. It costs more than Adobe. So not crazy about that feature. The $20 a month with Adobe, if you could do that, I'd pay $250 a year to be able to use it per year. Okay. So those are the 4 things that are keeping me stuck in Adobe EVOTO AI. If you can give me those things, I'll continue using this, but it's starting to get expensive with the credits. I'll be honest with you. Some of these things are game changers, though. You've made it really difficult not to continue buying your credits, though. So I can't get out of Adobe, though. You add those features and then I can save a little money, and I'm 100% in. So let me know what you guys thought of this video. Give it a like, leave a comment, and thanks for watching.